This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 14. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit of the Lord troubled him. And Saul's servants said unto him, Behold, now an evil spirit from the Most High trouble thee. Let our Lord now command thy servants, which are before thee, to seek out a man who is a cunning player on an harp, and it shall come to pass when the evil spirit from the Most High is upon thee, he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. And Saul said unto his servants, Provide me now a man that can play well, and bring him to me. Verse 18, Then answered one of the servants and said, Behold, I have seen a son of Jesse the Bethlehemite, that is cunning in playing, and a mighty valiant man, and a man of war, and prudent in manners, and a comely person, and the Lord is with him. Remember for later on in the lesson, and the Lord is with him. Right? That is King David. Going on, 1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 10. And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from the Most High came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hand as at other times, and there was a javelin or spear in Saul's hand. And Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I will smite David even to the wall with it. And David avoided out of his presence twice. Right? So King Saul had an evil spirit on him. And what happened when the evil spirit came upon him? He was envious of David, or he had hatred towards David, right? Which started in his mind / temptations. And he tried to carry out the slaying of David by throwing the javelin or spear against him, right, to kill him. So when possessed by evil spirits, these are the things that you could expect. Giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakadash, and double honors unto the elder apostles, elder bishops, and brothers on down a great millstone. A salutations to the whole elect, the household of faith. This is your brother Rai Banyamian here to share another quick lesson. And the title of this lesson is Put on the Whole Armor, right, of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Evil spirits will vex us until the end. And the reason why I titled it that way is because if you're a believer in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, you're constantly being vexed, right, with the wickedness that you're seeing today. And the more knowledge that you gain, it gets even more vexed when you see the people in the world, how they are behaving. Or, whether you go shopping, you go to these grocery stores, you're on the road, the people have no empathy, no sympathy, no manners, like times past. They're easily riled up, right? And with you trying to follow Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, they don't like that, so they try they do things either passive aggressively or aggressively to vex you, to get you to enter into a carnal state, right? To do something toward them so that you could be condemned just like them. And this is why the scriptures talk about Lord being vexed with the filthy conversation, of the wicked, roughly paraphrasing. Because only because of the things that they were saying, but how they were carrying themselves, how they were behaving on a day-to-day basis. And with you trying to be righteous, right, and the majority of people in the world is wicked, it would grieve you, every day. But then when you're around, like, brothers or, men that trying to be righteous, is a refreshing spirit because you are wrong, that clean spirit, so to speak. So I'm gonna get into this article, man, and as to why you need to get up, because a lot of brothers and sisters, they're in households, living with family that is not in the truth, right? They look down upon what you believe in. So Satan could jump on even family members to vex you too every now and again in your life. So not only you have to deal with spirits on your way to work, at work, other places that you frequent, or visit here and there, you have to deal or know how to deal with family members, mothers, fathers, siblings, when the spirit jump on them too, as well. So you don't enter into a carnal state, right? To deal with them, you have to deal, spiritually with people, especially in these last days, because these evil spirits are out and about. So, put in New York Post by Patrick Riley, it says a 93-year-old stabbed his wife to death because he couldn't take it anymore. Cops. All right. It says a 93-year-old man charged with murdering his wife allegedly told police he slashed her throat because he couldn't take it anymore. Now, when you think about a man that is of the age of 93 years old, you think, a gray fellow, he's well seasoned with the comings and goings of this world. He knows, or he's familiar with how to deal with, personality, both, good and, wicked, so on and so forth. So he wouldn't easily be moved, with the behavior of people. But here it is, even his gray hair, he can use the wisdom to seek refuge in the spirit and not in the arms of Satan, man, carrying out this wicked act. Continuing on, it says, James Pate told police in Pekin, Illinois, that he and his wife, Cheryl Pate, 80 years old, got into a fight in their car on Tuesday when he struck her, then pulled a knife out of the center console and cut her throat, according to an affidavit obtained by 25 News Now. And this is him right now. You could see he possessed / tired. James Pate was found covered in blood at the scene and admit to cops in an interview that he and Cheryl Pate were planning to get a divorce, and his pent-up anger at her exploding, the docs said. I'm guessing documents. Right? So they were getting a divorce. They are not a young couple. So you see, even the old in this society, or the aged, right, are going through divorce, man. And Esau Edom, even though he may be Esau Edom, is at the helm of a lot of the problems that people face in the society, right? He is to blame, right? He created the conditions, and you just playing out the scenario. You know what I'm saying? But he set the conditions, right, to make everybody life a living hell. It says he couldn't take it. He told cops he couldn't take it anymore. According to the affidavit, it was not clear how long they were married, right? So he couldn't take it anymore, man. Let me get a script here. In the book of Luke, 21, and 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 19 it says, "But in your patience possess he your soul." You understand? Let's go into that word patience. Right, steadfastness, consistency, enduring. In the New Testament, the characteristic of a man who is not swerved from his deliberate purpose and his loyalty to faith and piety by even the greatest trials and sufferings, right? Adversity in marriage can be one of the greatest trials and sufferings. Patiently and steadfastly. A patient, steadfast waiting for. A patient enduring, sustaining, perseverance. All right. Um, cheerful. In the Strong's definition, cheerful or hopeful endurance. And this is how we have to be, man. Now, the scriptures talk about if a woman is pleased to dwell with thee, roughly paraphrasing, but she's not of the faith, she could stay with thee, but, if she be not of thee, cut off and give her a bill of divorce. So there's things you could do, but while you're dealing, with the situation, you had to be steadfast in the spirit, man, firm to where you don't lash out on people like that, and you'll be in place, behind bars, you understand, for your actions. All right, because murder is a sin, so possess your soul. All right, in your patience, possess your soul. In your trials, in your suffering, possess your soul. Right, and how you do that? You put on the whole armor of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Is that Ephesians? I'm going to go into Ephesians first, chapter 6 and verse 12. It says, "For we wrestle," which is a spiritual struggle, right? "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Right? So these are the struggles, the vexations, the temptations. It's the day-to-day struggle, man. I was watching this woman. I think she was a caretaker. She worked hospice, so taking care of old people until they die, pretty much. And she was stealing patients, like watches, jewelries, and money, cash, and stuff like that, until they caught on to her. And when the cop finally caught on to her, he had one of those camera on his chest or whatever that they wear, and she was talking about the hard times that she was seeing. That's what she was doing. What she was doing. You understand? So that hard times was a test or a trial for her, and she's seek to go about it carnally to alleviate the financial stress by stealing. You understand? And these are things and adversities that we are going to face in these last days. But we have to put our trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, put on the whole armor of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, waiting, endurance, long suffering. Right? Remember I read in Luke 21:19, in your patience, which is suffering and trials, possess your soul. Right? All right. So I read Ephesians 6:12. Why should I go up? But there's the point. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that he may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Right? A lot of times, before sin is played out or carried out in our body, it enters into our mind. Right? Evil thoughts and suggestions that a lot of people succumb to, and it leads their feet to go in the direction to do the evil, and their hands to carry out the evil. Right? So the flesh, the body, carries out the evil, and this is why it's important to rebuke evil thoughts. That may enter into your mind concerning a family member, a brother, your wife, so on and so forth. Rebuke it sharply and early in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Right, so you wouldn't do these things. And this is the 80-year-old wife that he killed. It says Cheryl Pate was found with no pulse and was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. An autopsy by the Peoria County Coroner's Office confirmed she died from multiple sharp blunt force injuries that were incompatible with life and unsurvivable. James Pate was charged with first-degree murder, the Pekin Police Department said. The Tazewell County State Attorney's Office has filed a petition to deny his pre-trial release. And that brings us to the end of the article. Alright. So yeah, man. For brothers who have went through divorce before, we all know that the woman, her mouth, can bring out the worst in you if you let it, man. You understand? And this is why, we need to, as men, we need to use wisdom when dealing with the woman. And I'll end in Proverbs chapter 21. On life and conduct. Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 9. It says, it is better to dwell in a corner of your house top than with a brawling woman in a wide house, right? Because us as men, we like peace. We rather be lonely or solitary in a position than to hear, the woman, especially the end up, you know what I'm saying? She will drive up a wall, as we say in the islands. This is Proverbs chapter 22 and 14. It says, the mouth of a strange woman is a deep pit that is abhorred of the Most High. He that is abhorred of the Lord shall fall therein. You understand? So you don't want to fall into the traps of a wicked woman, man. Remember the scripture says a wicked woman is given in portion to a wicked man. So you want to live upright as possible. You know what I mean? So, the Most High, he could give you at least a woman that is pleasing to deal with, in these last days. And brothers, don't be in a hurry to get married or anything on this side, man. You understand? We are at the end, and these people, they are gonna get more worse and worse until Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, comes. So yeah, man, put on the whole armor of the Lord, praying, fasting, reading, studying, listening to the elder apostles and elders. And if you could teach, teach, right? Do your lessons and just stay in the spirit, as much as possible during the time of adversity, right? And remember, these teachings, right? When the elder apostles or brothers' videos has come to an end, whether the video be 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour and a half, you listen to his lessons, you have to behave in a manner that is upright and spiritual, right? And if you're doing lessons too, when the camera is turned off, how are you conducting yourself when the camera is no longer on? When the elder apostles, elder bishops, and brothers' videos has come to an end, are you listening for entertainment's sake, or are you behaving in the spirit, upright and moral spirit, when their videos has been cut off? So put on the whole armor of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Evil spirits will vex us until the end. And until the next time, shalom.